Hello everybody, and welcome to Module 4, Turning Your Ideas into Action. Here we are in the final module of the course. It's now time to put all the work that you've done together into an action plan. This presentation is meant to share a few tips to help you get started. Before we get started, let's take a little trip down memory lane. In Module 1, we talked about your backyard woods and beyond. You learned about why small forests are a big deal. We talked about how you define your backyard woods and why it's so important, both to you and to the landscape. We asked you to identify some objectives or some goals for your backyard woods and to think about why it's important to you and your family. In Activity 1, we asked you to describe your backyard woods and tell us a little bit about it. And then in Activity 2, you identified some stewardship goals. Module 2 was getting to know your woods. We went out into the woods. We learned about forest ecology, wildlife tracking, the basics of birding, tree identification, invasive plants, and even a little bit about the cultural and natural history of our woods and how to read the woods. You did activities including mapping your backyard woods, a little expedition where you went out and you identified different features in your backyard woods. You looked at species and began to develop a species list. In Module 3, we learned about the possibilities of stewardship that your backyard woods offers. We gave you some ideas of projects to do in your woods, and we asked you to choose 3 projects or 3 activities, identify next steps, and identify resources to help you plan out the activity. Now, in Module 4, it's time to bring it all together and finalize your action plan. Why is planning so important? Well, being a steward and caring for your backyard woods can take a lot of work. An action plan will help you focus on what's important and what's doable, both for you and your family. It'll help you become organized so that it's manageable and whatever you decide to do fits within your budget and your available time. But most importantly, a plan will ensure that everybody is on the same page and paddling in the same direction. So what types of information should be in your plan? Well, your plan should consist of a vision statement, which you actually created in Activity 1, a list of stewardship goals and objectives, which you created in Activity 2, a map, which you created in Activity 3, a list of projects or activities to do in your woods. This was created in Activity 7, and a detailed schedule of activities to be performed for each project, again, which you developed in Activity 7. Don't forget that your plan should be flexible and considered a living document, which needs to be periodically updated as changes occur or as you complete projects or as you add more stewardship objectives. Before you dive into your own plan, take a minute to review the example in the Backyard Wood Journal. In the journal, you'll find the story of the Smith family and a copy of their backyard wood action plan. You'll learn about what they value most about their property. You'll see their 5 to 10-year goals for their backyard woods, and then you'll see their activities that they've identified, their to-do lists, and how they've parceled out who is going to be completing the activity or the item that needs to be done, and when it'll be done by. You'll also see that they've added some notes. So they've identified additional resources that they want to check out, or people to contact, or additional things to do just throughout the year to make sure that their project stays on track. Now that you've developed your plan, here are some thoughts for you to consider as you begin implementing your plan. The first is to know your boundaries. It's all too easy once you are out on the landscape trying to do a project to just go a little too far. So it's important not only to know your boundaries, but also to make sure that they're marked. Know your capacity. Again, these projects should be fun. So remain flexible as you begin to carry out your projects and recognize what your capacity is in a day, in a week, and even in a month. Be safe. Don't forget at all times to use your safety equipment. And also, it might be a good idea to let somebody know where you are working in your woods. Lastly, remain flexible. Changes happen, and they happen over time. So don't become too rigid in carrying out your plan. Remain flexible and open to new opportunities should they arise. As you develop and implement your plan, you may want to consider whether you want to do the work yourself or hire in a professional. While some activities are appropriate for you and your family to do, others will require professional help. Before you hire somebody, it's important to understand the different roles of the professionals in the field. Here are 4 professionals who we're guessing that you may want to interact with. The first is a landscaper or a landscape architect. These are folks who are trained in helping you plan installation of plants or hardscapes, or thinking about drainage, developing a comprehensive plan perhaps for your backyard, or helping you balance site conditions and advising you on what some of the best plans are for your site. A good source to find a landscape architect or a landscaper is Vermont Greenworks. That's Vermont's Nursery and Landscape Association. Another professional that you might want to interact with is a forester. A forester will help you achieve your ownership goals. They will also help make sure that your forestry practices ensure the future condition and the value of your woods. A consulting forester can assist you in developing a management plan, marking trees, preparing a contract, or conduct an inventory. To find a forester, check out Vermont Woodlands Association Accredited Consulting Forester Program. A logger is a skilled harvester or remover or transporter of trees from the woods, and they can help you remove trees that have been marked to sell to a mill. To find a logger, check out the LEAP program. Lastly, an arborist is an individual who is trained in helping care for individual trees. They can help you plant trees, care for trees, and maintain trees, like prune out dead wood or prune hazardous limbs. They're also knowledgeable about the needs of trees and can help you with a tree care plan for important shade trees in your yard. If you're interested in hiring an arborist, check out the International Society of Arboriculture's Certified Arborist Program. Links to all of these organizations can be found in the module resources. Well, that's it for the tips to helping you develop a plan for your backyard woods. Now you may be wondering what happens next. How do I get access to resources after the course? Well, throughout the course, we've exposed you to the wide variety of organizations that are available to assist homeowners and landowners. We encourage you to connect to those resources. Check them out. Go back through the modules and find some of the organizations maybe that you might be interested in becoming a member of, or sign up for their e-newsletter. Signing up for things like e-newsletters or updates is a great way to stay informed of both activities that are going on, educational opportunities, or stay connected to what's going on in Vermont's woods. Organizations such as the Vermont Woodlands Association offers educational opportunities like walks in the woods, woodland tours, and even a 3-day woodland retreat. The Vermont Covert Cooperators Program is especially great for those who are interested in learning more about wildlife. They also offer a 3-day course for folks who are interested in learning a little bit more about Vermont's forests and the wildlife that depend on it. Don't forget to continue to return to the Backyard Woods Journal. Your journal is designed not only as a manual for the course, but as a resource for you throughout the year. Keep coming back to it to record observations or update your plan. And lastly, the Backyard Woods course online modules will stay available to folks for up to a year after the completion of the program. So feel free to keep coming back to the online course and check out additional resources, perhaps watch one of the videos or narrated presentations again. And lastly, the online modules will stay available to course participants for a year after they complete the course. So feel free to check back on the course as a resource for you as you begin to carry out your goals and begin to work on your projects in your woods. And don't forget, we're also here as a resource. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact myself here at UVM Extension or connect with your county forester. I wanted to conclude with the same quote that I shared in Module 1. Your woods is in fact a historical document which faithfully records your personal philosophy. Whatever your vision, with a little bit of planning and a little bit of work, your backyard woods can become a treasure to you and your family, as well as the wild creatures that depend on it. Thank you for your participation in the course, and best of luck in your new adventure as a caretaker of your backyard woods.